around the street is that Diddy is throwing tantrums behind bars. Allegedly, he isn't too happy about Luigi Mangione being thrown into the same prison as him. And the reason why is genuinely crazy. You'll never believe why Diddy is angry about it. The New York Post recently reported that life behind bars is no longer as glamorous as Diddy would like it to be. And this is because of none other than Luigi Mangione. Remember him?
After processing, Mangione will be moved to a special housing unit on the 18th floor where he will share common space with a famous prisoner, music mogul Sean Diddy Combs, who is awaiting trial for sex trafficking charges, which he denies. Breakfast this morning consisted of cereal and skim milk. Lunch was a fish sandwich, baked potato, and green beans. Dinner is Italian, lasagna with meat sauce or pasta fagioli.
During the holidays, it's terribly lonely. He will be able to get a holiday visit, assuming visitors are approved. I don't think that will happen at this time.
Sam Mangle is a prison consultant familiar with the facility.
If you were counseling Mangione, what would you tell him to survive?
Try to keep as low profile as possible. Obviously, where he is now, he will be fine. If he is sentenced to time, he will be extorted because of his family. He absolutely will be taken advantage of, whether it's physically, financially, emotionally.
After Luigi was arrested, he was put into the same holding facility as Diddy, the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. Shockingly, Luigi has suddenly become a celebrity across the world.
Now, whether he's guilty or not will be decided by a trial, but one thing we know for certain, Mangione is making everyone manja-horny.
And Maria, I know you were inside that courtroom today with the suspect. How was he behaving?
Nora, it was remarkable. He walked in confident. At times he seemed defiant. He was looking around. He kept looking back. And a couple of times I felt like he was making eye contact.
He looked at me. He saw me. We had a moment, and Nora, I'm getting new reports just now that I can change him. Okay. But can I just say, this is confusing as a straight man to me. I don't know what I'm supposed to do to attract women. One day it's do more work around the house. The next it's be a better listener. And now apparently it's execute the leader of a Fortune 500 company.
And according to some sources, ever since Luigi arrived at the MDC, he's become a kind of mini celebrity over there.
Yeah, I can't tell if you can hear this.
Oh, we can hear it.
That's the sound of inmates inside of the Pennsylvania State Correctional Facility where Luigi Mangione was being held Wednesday, December 11th. A reporter with News Nation who was covering the story was able to have an unorthodox interview after realizing that people inside were watching their channel, leading to him being able to get information from the inside.
All right, so earlier today I was reporting outside these prison walls when all of a sudden I heard my name and I couldn't tell if they were, catcalling me or heckling me or even saying my name whatsoever. And so I started reporting on Luigi Mangione's prison conditions as I was finding them out. And as soon as the live shot was over, that's when I turned around and they said, the conditions suck. And so that was my confirmation. Oh my gosh, they're watching News Nation at that very moment. I pulled out my camera, I recorded, and here's more of that interaction. Take a look from earlier today.
Luigi's conditions suck! Free Luigi!
Apparently, a lot of inmates are supporting the crime that he committed, and some have even gone out of their way to actually confide in Luigi and tell him about the health problems they've faced because of insurance companies too. Now, if you don't know who Luigi is, here's a brief rundown of his story. Let's start with the facts of the incident. Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare, was fatally shot in broad daylight while walking in Manhattan. Witnesses described the attack as sudden and deliberate, with the shooter fleeing the scene immediately after. Law enforcement officers quickly launched an investigation, and within days, Luigi became their prime suspect. Luigi comes from a prominent Italian-American family, and he isn't just any ordinary young man. He's brilliant, actually. He graduated as valedictorian from the prestigious Gilman School in Baltimore in 2016. By 2020, he had completed a bachelor's and master's degree in engineering from the University of Pennsylvania, specializing in artificial intelligence and computer science. And to top it all off, he also had a minor in mathematics. But despite everything that he has achieved in his life so far, apparently, Luigi's life wasn't as perfect as it looked from the outside. For the longest time, Luigi dealt with severe health issues. He suffered from spondylolisthesis, which is a spinal condition, and Lyme disease. both of which left him in chronic pain most of the time. In July 2023, he went through a spinal fusion surgery to address his condition. And from the reports, this surgery, coupled with his already existing health struggles, made him extremely frustrated with the American healthcare system. Now, this is where it gets kind of intense. Around November of last year, Luigi's mother reported him missing. She said that they hadn't heard from him since July when he supposedly moved to San Francisco for work. For months, his family was in the dark about his whereabouts. And later, it was revealed that during this time, he was actually quietly planning and preparing for what would become the passing of Brian Thompson. On December 9th, 2024, after a 5-day manhunt, Luigi was eventually arrested at a McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania. A customer had recognized him from the news and tipped off the police. And when the police got him, they found a 3D printed weapon with a silencer, a fake New Jersey driver's license, and a handwritten document described as a manifesto. In this so-called manifesto, Luigi heavily criticized the American healthcare system, specifically targeting insurance companies and their CEOs for their role in what he believed caused the healthcare system to fail in the first place. Now, let's talk about the legal side of all of this. After his arrest, Luigi faced several charges in Pennsylvania, including carrying an unlicensed firearm, forgery, and using fake identification. But that was just the start. He was soon sent to New York, where the stakes became much higher. There, he was charged with taking a person's life, multiple counts of illegal weapons possession, and forgery. But it didn't stop at the state level. The federal government got involved, charging Luigi with stalking and taking the life of Brian Thompson. He was also charged with using a silencer in a crime of violence, a charge that can carry the life penalty. However, in court, Luigi pleaded not guilty to all charges. And this about sums up everything that has happened in his life so far. Now, knowing all of this, after Luigi was put in the MDC, believe it or not, a lot of prisoners saw him as their hero. Why? Because he was the one person who dared to do something about the injustice many people believe the American healthcare system has been dishing out for as long as they can remember. The inmates are apparently sharing stories about how they've lost their loved ones because of this, which is very ironic. Because if you take a close look at the MDC, you'll see that it isn't exactly heaven on earth. This facility has made a name for itself for its terrible living conditions, inadequate healthcare, and stories about violence and prisoners taking their own lives. But let's get into Diddy's side of the story. It all started when his home was raided.
Those heavily armored gear and equipment, I don't think they're actually searching for any items that could connect whatever the investigation is. I would venture to say that those are going to be the guys that you're seeing right there, and they're waiting for that all clear. And then this group that you see there, those are the ones that are actually going to go inside. They probably have, like you said, they probably have ideas what they're looking for, where they might be. So, but right now it is still a waiting game to make sure that everybody is out of this building and that it is secure for the investigators to make their way in and actually start that search.
And we should mention, thank you, Stu, that if this is in fact involving a trafficking investigation, we do know that according to Diddy's attorneys and the rapper himself, he has denied any wrongdoing in any of all this. So there are two sides, of course, to this as this all plays out. But it is interesting that these raids happening at the same time. According to TMZ, a raid of his Miami home is happening right now, as well as now we're looking at the live pictures of what's going on in Holmby Hills at this mansion right here, all connected to Sean Combs. So again, until we find out further word as to what exactly they're searching for and why, we continue to look at the procedures taking place regarding this raid that's being conducted by Homeland Security. You have support from local law enforcement officials as well. We saw from the ground shots, you see multiple agencies there a part of all of this, and they have a number of resources on hand with a drone flying up top, as well as they had ladders taking a closer look at certain parts of the property. And so they are looking at every nook and cranny they need to in terms of why they're investigating this home and property. So clearly this is going to take a while.
And then a few short months later, he was arrested.
All right, we are getting some breaking news right now. ABC News has just confirmed that Sean Diddy Combs was arrested tonight in New York City. Sources say federal agents with Homeland Security investigations took him into custody. The charges are unclear at this time. Combs' attorney telling CNN that we are disappointed with the decision to pursue what we believe is an unjust prosecution of Mr. Combs by the U.S. Attorney's Office. We, of course, are trying to gather more information. There's a lot more to come out of this story, and as soon as we get it, we'll turn it over to you.
Supposedly, he isn't too happy at prison anymore because ever since Luigi came in, he's been the person getting all of the attention, leaving Diddy with nothing. According to the source who revealed this information, even in prison, Diddy's ego is bigger than life. He's always wanted to be at the center of attention no matter what. And whenever he feels that someone or something is taking attention away from him, he doesn't handle it very well. Now, since he's behind bars and can't exactly do anything about this whole Luigi situation, all he's stuck doing is throwing tantrums and allegedly saying that he's going to get back at Luigi for stealing his shine. Because now he's no longer the most famous prisoner there. Believe it or not, Luigi is. The craziest part about all of this is that Luigi and Diddy's paths don't even cross while they're behind bars. It's been reported that Luigi is still in solitary confinement, while Diddy is with the general population of prisoners. So it's beyond me why he's jealous of a guy who doesn't even get the chance to talk to other prisoners on a daily basis and is all on his own. Crazy enough, being in the Metropolitan Detention Center isn't the only thing that ties Diddy and Luigi together. Apparently, they share the same legal team, Mark and Karen Friedman Agnifilo. Or should I say they used to share the same legal team? Word around the street is that Mark is at his wit's end with Diddy. And apparently he's planning on throwing in the towel sooner rather than later. And if that happens, it's anyone's guess what's going to happen to Diddy next. And again, he does have the money to get himself another lawyer in the blink of an eye. But getting himself another lawyer is the easy part. The hard part will be convincing the judge and jury that he isn't guilty of all the crimes he's been accused of so far with the insane amount of evidence that has been brought up against him. So if I were Diddy or anyone on his legal team, I'd advise them to turn their attention to Diddy's own business and focus on him rather than on Luigi, who seems to be doing perfectly fine where he is right now. But that's just me. What do you guys think? Do you believe the rumors about Diddy throwing tantrums because of Luigi? Do you agree that he should probably focus on something else? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below.